Good morning, guys. Good morning. Welcome to today's Bitcoin and cryptocurrency news. I am George. I think I cut off the intro early, but that's okay. Welcome. I couldn't contain myself. Today we definitely had some excitement this morning. Let's put it that way, right? Bitcoin set a new all-time high. Yes, it did set an all-time high today. Not exactly at 20,000, but very, 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 very close. And now it's coming back down a little bit. That's okay. I was hoping that it would come right back up during the stream, and it still could. There's still time. But I am thinking, yeah, this is it. This is it. We will hit 20,000 either today or this week. I'm thinking it's today. I actually called it out on Twitter. I think we're going to hit it today. Regardless if it's today, this week, we are definitely moving higher. Yes, we are moving higher. I'm trying to fix the chat while I'm chatting here, while I'm talking here. But yes, we are definitely moving higher. And those of you guys that took advantage of this weekend, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when Bitcoin was a little bit lower, right? And I was saying nothing has changed. Nothing has changed with Bitcoin, right? It needed to come down, and it did. It was a golden pie opportunity. It didn't fall down nearly as much as people thought, but that's how things go, right? Bitcoin moves in mysterious ways sometimes, right? But those of you guys that took advantage, good for you. Those of you guys that's been taking advantage this whole time for the last 3 years, dollar cost averaging, congratulations, because you did it right and you're about to become a Bitcoin millionaire soon. So, a lot to talk about. Thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, make sure you smash up the like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, right? And then also follow me on Twitter. I have my Vegas fund that's still up, and my Patreon, which I actually did send out a newsletter last night. It was late last night, and I had a feeling. I'm like, you know what? Just take a look. This week is going to be explosive. We're going to be right back up to 19.5. And we did. And we went much higher. And that's because there was more announcements that happened this morning in terms of institutional investors really wanting to FOMO at this point. They all want to FOMO, and that hasn't changed at all. And this hasn't really carried into retail investors yet. Not yet. But it will. It will, and that's what is going to really drive things much higher from here. All right, let's get started. As always, let's start with Bitcoin, 19,100. So obviously not as high as this morning, but let's zoom in a little bit. I'm on a 5-minute chart, and Bitcoin went up to 19,878 approximately, so 19,900. And if you zoom in to 2017, and, and let's zoom in. It's going to be a little bit hard here. But that's technically higher than where we were in 2017. And, of course, we didn't stay up there very long. We shot up and shot right back down. I'm trying to zoom in as much as possible. Let's do here. Where are we? I'm all over the place. Here we go. No, that's now. I don't want now. I want it before. Yeah, maybe it's not gonna happen. Right here. I want to zoom in right here. Right here. No. Okay, I'm not gonna waste my time on that. Anyways, just take my word for it. It did hit all-time high. And it did set all-time high, right? Obviously, it came down a little bit, but you know what? It's looking like it's gearing to move up again. This morning, even myself, I'm like, man, Bitcoin is moving up and up and up. It has to take a breather, right? And it looked like it was just going to go straight up to 20,000, but it did come down. That's fine. The short-term indicators were sky high, 5-minute, 15-minute, 1 hour. I mean, look at the 1 hour, right? I mean, 15-minute here. I mean, stochastic was, flatlined at 100, and RSI got to 91. So you could see now the 15-minute is resetting. It's come down quite a bit. So we can see a tremendous move from here. But if you look at like the 1 hour, it was really high too. 4 hours really high. So I'm glad we actually took a small breather and Bitcoin is ready to go. But obviously, like I got done saying, compared to where we were 16.2 a couple times. I drew a new line here as a support. That seems to be a temporary support, 16.2. I mean, it's basically a V-shaped recovery, right? You look at the day chart, what does that look like? It's an exact V. It didn't even last a week. It lasted just a few days. And that's because institutional FOMO is still there. That's the name of the game right now. I've been saying institutional FOMO or institutions, they're all FOMO into Bitcoin hard right now. Hard. And that's not going to change. So look at this. Guggenheim Fund this morning basically told the SEC that their $5 billion macro opportunity fund, right? They want to invest into Grayscale's Bitcoin Trust. So basically, they want exposure to BTC up to 10%. So what does that mean? 10% of $5 billion, $500 million. So they're ready to commit $500 million into Bitcoin, right? I got done saying, during my last stream, just last week alone, and I'm waiting to see this week's numbers. Last week alone, Grayscale clients purchased close to $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Well, it was like 900 something million. $1 billion within a single week. Remember weeks before, I would show you guys figures from Grayscale, maybe 100 million, 150 million, $200 million per week. Yeah, those are impressive numbers. Now we're getting to a point where it's coming into close to $1 billion per week, right? And that's because you got big funds now, not just institutions, not just hedge funds, right? Yes, basically what I'm trying to say is everything. Not just the large whales, right? Not just hedge funds, not just, private equity firms. It's just basically everyone. Everyone with a whole bunch of money, they're trying to get into Bitcoin right now. And if they don't want to purchase themselves, they don't want to hold it, with a custody service, then of course they just go to Grayscale and buy from Grayscale. So I'm waiting to hear, figures for this week, because I'm thinking from last week to this week is going to be over $1 billion. It's going to be amazing. And you know what? Squawk Box, they interviewed someone. This is not Barry. What was his name? They said, okay, Michael from Grayscale. And interesting quote, right? Basically, he was asked, what do you think about altcoins and basically interest in crypto overall? And to quote him, if our inflows at Grayscale are any indication of the type of investors that are interested in this asset class or the size of allocations being made, we're just getting started. Okay, so think about that. As much as we think there is in terms of FOMO, right? As much as we think this is big money, like $1 billion per week coming in, we think that's big money. Basically, that is nothing at this point. Keep in mind, hedge funds around the world, private equity firms, family offices, whatever else is out there. There's trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars floating out there, right? We're talking about trillions, not even billions. And we're only seeing a tiny fraction of that come into Bitcoin. Imagine when it's not a tiny amount, right? Imagine if it's a decent amount, 5, 10, 15, 20%. When that comes in, you're going to see Grayscale take in 10, 15, 20, $50 billion per week to buy Bitcoin and other crypto assets. When that happens, we all know. We'll all be living in our citadels, looking down on people at that point, right? That is insane. So we're only getting started, and I don't think they're lying about this either, right? And of course, I'm just going to rehash some of the famous players that has been really, really bullish on Bitcoin recently, right? You have billionaire hedge fund investor Druckenmiller, who says he owns Bitcoin now. And of course, you have veteran investor Bill Miller that says every major investment bank will own Bitcoin or something like it, and he's also bullish on Bitcoin. Of course, hedge fund pioneer and billionaire Paul Tudor Jones says he holds 1 to 2% asset in Bitcoin. And recently, this is an older article. Recently, he said it's higher. It's more like 5 to 10%. BlackRock, the biggest asset manager in the world, their CIO says Bitcoin can replace gold to a large extent in the future. So they're also turning bullish on Bitcoin, right? So you see the trend here, right? Institutional investors, institutions, they're FOMOing in, and this is not going to stop, right? This is why when Bitcoin fell to 16.2 and some people started to question again and saying, okay, this is probably it. We're probably not gonna get higher, or we're gonna stay here for a little bit. These institutions, right? They're not buying in to swing trade. They're not buying in to make a big trade and get out. That's not what they're doing. They're buying it for a long haul. Most of them are buying it as a hedge against inflation and devaluation of the dollar, but many of them are also buying to see gains, right? Massive gains. They're not going to sell if they're going to see like 10, 20% gains. They want to see thousands of percent gains, right? So this doesn't change, and this is only getting started, like Michael is hinting. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be really, really crazy. All right, is there more political talk in here? Yeah, so too many people going crazy with political talk in the chat. All right, Russia. This was just not too long ago. Russia also came out and says they're going to recognize Bitcoin as a property with legal protection. So of course this already happened in the U.S. China's, they said the same thing. The courts declared, it was earlier this year, that Bitcoin is protected. It is a property, and now Russia also says the same thing. So basically, every country out there is basically recognizing Bitcoin as a legal property, which is really, really good. So I mean, in 2020 or moving in 2021, I guess those of us that's in it for a while, we kind of just assume that everyone around the world, all countries, all governments recognize Bitcoin as property or as a digital currency, as something with monetary value. But that's not true. Not all countries recognize it. But now it's starting to turn around. So that this is getting serious, right? Getting really, really serious. All right. Moving on. Winklevoss twins, of course. They're gonna be bullish on Bitcoin. But they were interviewed recently, and they said that they believe Bitcoin is gonna go 25x from here. So, to quote, our thesis is Bitcoin is gold 2.0, and it will disrupt gold. If it does that, it has a market cap of 9 trillion. So we think Bitcoin could price one day. We think Bitcoin could price one day at 500,000 a Bitcoin. So at 18,000 Bitcoin, it's a hold, or if you don't have any, it's a buy opportunity because there's a 25x from here. Yeah. This is kind of basically, kind of rehashing what Bill Miller is saying, right? Not Bill Miller. BlackRock. I'm sorry, BlackRock, because BlackRock also thinks that right now all these big players, the smart money, the big money, they hold so much gold, and gold has such a tremendous. Gold has been around forever, but it's not technology. It's not easy to use. It's not easy to transfer. It's not easy to pay for things. Where Bitcoin is all those things, and it's a store of value, and it's a hedge, right? That is why BlackRock is saying that Bitcoin in the future is going to replace gold to a large extent. All these people that's holding gold, all these big money that's holding gold, they're going to say, well, we have so much gold already. Let's put our money into something that's also store of value, but also can actually gain us some profits in return, because holding gold basically means that you're not. Traditionally, you hold gold, right? Not to make money with. Basically, it's just a hedge against your other assets. But now you can get Bitcoin and do both. You can hedge against fiat and other assets, and you can make money by holding it. So why not? And plus, those other things, you could actually use it for transactions, and it's easily transferable, and all the things that's inherent in blockchain, being transparent, immutable, all those things, right? Um, Bitcoin is just better in every way, except you can't make, you can't make jewelry with it. That's the only thing. That's the only thing. But it's better in every way. But basically, Winklevoss is saying the same thing. And you know what? If all this big money is going to be transferring their gold or a large amount of their gold into Bitcoin, yeah, we'll certainly see Bitcoin go up much, much, much higher than where it is now. So a lot of people are thinking it's too late to get in Bitcoin. It's too expensive. There's no way there could be that much gains. I would say, I agree with the Winklevoss twins, right? You're mistaken. I think it's going to go much, much higher. But first, we need to crack 20,000. That will happen. And then we'll see. Because after 20,000, we could see some craziness happen after 20,000. I mean, if you think going up 1,000, $1,000 per day is crazy, well, then you probably didn't live through 2017. But even then, we could see 2, 3, 5,000 point days, and that's coming. That's coming. All right. Lastly, there's a couple things. Recently I've been looking for headlines in terms of, besides Bitcoin, just like altcoin, news. No one is really talking about altcoins. You really have to dig because everyone is concentrating on Bitcoin. But there's two main things coming up, and I don't think people are paying attention. Number one is Ethereum 2.0 is coming. Okay, it's coming tomorrow, in fact, and I don't see anyone talking about it. It's like no one cares at this point. But this is pretty significant. This is a big upgrade for Ethereum. They're moving to proof of stake, and afterwards they can implement sharding. But basically, you're moving from mining, like proof of work, to proof of stake, to staking, right? So this is a big thing. It improves scalability somewhat. It goes from like 15 transactions to 75 transactions per second, which is good, but it still pales to some of the other networks out there. But when they implement sharding, then it could go up to thousands to tens of thousands. Did you see Raul Paul liquidating all his gold? I didn't hear that. I know he has a large amount of Bitcoin already, but I didn't know that. But thank you for that. So yeah, Ethereum is making a big upgrade, right? And another thing I like about Ethereum 2.0, not so much from the upgrade itself, but Grayscale. I keep talking about Grayscale and how they're buying so much Bitcoin. Grayscale also has a huge amount of ETH within their Ethereum trust, and that's because clients are also buying Ethereum. So I think that's going to help propel Ethereum forward. And I was really surprised because when I looked at 2017 and I looked at Bitcoin's December price when it was around this level, Ethereum at that time was only about 700. So I was mistaken. I thought Ethereum was like way above 1,000 this time in 2017. No, so Ethereum is not back to where it was, but it's still decently close, right? So that means Ethereum still has a ton of room to grow, right? And we'll have to see. After tomorrow, there could be we could see some fireworks. And another one is Cardano, right? Cardano is actually getting ready to be finished. When Cardano has been just building forever, right? So we had Shelly that was implemented not too long ago, maybe a few months ago now. This new one's Goguen, which will allow token creation and also allow token staking. So basically they're getting ready to complete. So the mainnet, this full mainnet, is supposed to happen sometime in December, and this Goguen progress is going to happen, I believe, within the next week or so. Right, and they're creating some ERC20 token converter. So any projects that's utilizing an ERC20 token, they're gonna convert it to Cardano's new token. I don't know what they call it. If you call it CRC20, I know like Tron just copied, so they said TRC20. I don't know if Cardano's gonna call it something else or something. I don't know, but they also have that. So Cardano is also facing a big upgrade or completion, I should say, right? So two things that I think not a lot of people is paying attention to, because honestly, there's just not a lot of articles about altcoins right now. It's It's all about Bitcoin, and there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah. Okay, so some of you guys asked about Ripple news. Ripple is selling 33% of its stake in MoneyGram. I don't know if this is a good thing or not. MoneyGram is like the only company that utilizes XRP for anything because Ripple owns like half of MoneyGram, and now they're selling 33% of it. So I don't know what the repercussions of this is. I know MoneyGram with their quarterly earnings, they report they get paid tens of millions of dollars from Ripple to utilize XRP for cross-border payments, right? But now they're selling 33% of their stake. Does it mean they're going to keep selling or what? I don't know. But yeah, Ripple needs to have some like new clients. You know, like right now, you know, there's a lot of clients or partners that signed up for Xcurrent. I know they don't call it Xcurrent anymore, but it's a service where you can utilize it without needing XRP, right? Ripple needs to find clients that actually do need XRP. Otherwise, I don't know. This dream of $589, that'll never come true. Anyways, that's about it. So yeah, very, very exciting today. Very exciting. I know a lot. I can feel the enthusiasm. I can feel people just like not believing, right? This morning when Bitcoin shot up and up and up, I honestly thought 20,000 was here. It was so close, 19.9 basically, right? 19.9, and I have a feeling we're going to head right back up there later this afternoon. I think 20,000 is here. It's going to be here today or tomorrow, but I have this feeling it could be today. Institutions are still FOMOing in, and the kicker is retail investors, even though we're excited, you know what, most people on the street is still not paying attention, and that could be good for a while, but you know, every news outlet today is talking about Bitcoin forming and setting a new high, right? And as Bitcoin breaks through 20,000 and heads higher, you're going to hear more and more and more and more stories everywhere talking about Bitcoin, and that's where FOMO is really going to start building. So yeah, it's good. It's good. All right. So I'll turn to you guys and let's do some Q&A. John, that is not true. That is not true at all. Ripple bought like 40% of MoneyGram. I remember it. I remember it clearly. It was right under 50%. So just think about it. They had to buy MoneyGram or buy a stake in it. It doesn't matter. Let's just say it's 10% for what you're saying, argument's sake. They had to buy MoneyGram to force them to use XRP. What does that say? Why did they have to buy them to force them to use it, right? So that says a lot. That says a lot. What is your advice for daily tools and websites to use in this bull run? My advice is just don't use any tools, okay? Don't try to day trade or swing trade. You're going to get burnt. So if you're asking that, I'm assuming you're relatively new. What you want to do is set yourself on a schedule to dollar cost average and buy in increments, okay? If you want to get into Bitcoin, you want to get into Ethereum, you want to get into XRP, whatever, it doesn't matter. Buy in increments, spread out your buys, right? And be patient and just hodl. Don't try to day trade or swing trade. It's not gonna work out. Most people, you know, just like my last stream on, I think it was Friday or Saturday. I think it was Friday. You know, someone said, "Oh, George, I sold 2 Bitcoins at like 19.4, right?" And at that time, you know, Bitcoin was like 18.4 or something, or maybe even less. And he's like, "Should I wait? Should I wait until it goes down more to buy?" I'm like, "Sure, you can wait, but no one could time bottom and no one could time top, right? So if you wait, you could just miss out on the potential gains, right? If it was like 18.4, I'm just making an example because I don't remember what it was, right? Say he didn't buy 18.4 and just waiting, and now it's 19.3, right? So he just lost out on that. So why? Why do that, right? Just don't try to time top or bottom. Set yourself on a schedule, right? If you already sold and you predicted it was going to go to, it was come down, and it did, then great, then buy back in. But don't try to stress too much on local bottoms or tops, because we know it's going to go much higher. This is only the beginning, right? If you think that this has topped out and you need to sell, then you're sorely mistaken. So in a year, 2 years, 5 years from now, you're going to think it's silly. Oh, I sold some at whatever, 12,000, 14,000, 15,000, 19,000, because a year from now, 5 years from now, we're going to be 100,000, 200,000. Maybe Winklevoss will be right. We'll be at 500,000, and then we're all going to be like laughing, that we were fretting at 19,000. Why is no one trying to implement blockchain into election voting? I was asking that this whole thing. Barn, you see? That's why I don't get this whole thing about mail-in ballots, right? I know there's some controversy around that, but still, why is it not electronic? And why is it not on the blockchain? I mean, it would be so much quicker. You don't need manual counting. So I don't understand that. How is it we're in 2020, we can't do electronic voting yet? I don't know. It boggles my mind. But anyways. Do you know anything about Aave? Yes. They used to be ETHLend. They were DeFi. They were DeFi lending before DeFi lending was a thing, but they transitioned themselves. Basically, you can put down your collateral. You could put down and stake, or you could borrow, right? If you wanted to leverage, you could borrow. You could stake your BTC or whatever and borrow against it. I don't advise it, but that is Aave's, model. And it works. For them, it works. Lending companies work. And ultimately, if you think about it, it takes power away from the banks, right? So if you didn't want to deal with a traditional bank and you want to deal with a decentralized kind of bank, that's what Aave is. So I like Aave as a project. For DeFi projects, there's not that many that I hold and not that many I would suggest, but Aave is one of them. They have been doing very well. Lend is not valid anymore. They transited to Aave tokens, native Aave tokens. So they probably still have some way to transist the token, so you just have to look into it. Is McAfee actually in prison? Last time I heard he was still sitting in Spain waiting to be extradited. I don't know if he actually came back to the U.S. and did you hear that 30 billionaires believe the Earth is flat? Well, that proves that I guess being wealthy does not mean you're smart. John, you're picking a small time frame. You're saying XRP is up 196% when the bull run has not started. That's because you're just picking the last week, right? If you expand out, you'll expand out to 3 years. You expand out to 5 years. You expand out to whatever, right? It didn't outperform BTC. It's nowhere close to outperforming BTC. So that's all I'm saying. And this whole notion of XRP going to $589 is just ridiculous. It just can't happen. Look at the supply. Look at the total supply, and you times it by $589. It's not possible. It's just not possible. So before I was bullish on XRP because I liked what they were doing, being a bridge currency and all. But then I thought about the token economics. It just doesn't make any sense. It would only go up when you can convince millions of companies to use it every day for cross-border payments, and that's not happening. It's nowhere close. So until that happens, it's not going to rise up to $589 or anywhere close to it, right? Can it go up from 60 cents to 80 cents to $1? Yeah, it could definitely do that. So just to please you guys, I was looking at XRP recently just to show you guys what the potential is short term. I actually have this, I think in Kraken. No, shoot. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, you could see this is painful, right? And even though XRP, like you said, is up 100 and whatever percent, right? It's still nowhere close to 377. However, with that said, and we'll throw XRP Army a bone here. Seeing where XRP is now at 650, right? It did break through this high, this high, this high, right? And it's identical to the high. It touched the high here, which was back in September 2018. So roughly around 77 cents. 76 cents. So it's a little bit before it, but below it, but it did hit it. So if you're looking at this and you're like, okay, so what's the next stop, right? Where can it head up to? The next high would be around here, 96 cents. So if Bitcoin and altcoins continue to go up, right? What's the next stop for XRP? It could be heading to 96 cents, which would be a 50% gain even from this level, right? So short term, I understand. XRP, XLM, basically any altcoins, especially the big caps, they're all go up significantly because Bitcoin pulls everything up, right? But if you're expecting that it's going to go from 96 cents to $589, that's a different story, okay? That's a different story altogether. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If crypto replaces banks, what's the point of XRP? Well, the point of XRP is to be the cross border, the medium of exchange instead of USD, which is what it is now. Ripple wants to make it into XRP. That's the thing. But you need adoption. I mean, XRP is not supposed to be a store of value. Okay, XRP was created to be a utility, but people treat it as a store of value because there's a finite supply. But it's not a store of value, it's a utility. XRP would actually function a lot better if it was a stable coin, but the XRP army will never admit to that. They'll never admit to that. Alex, I don't have a coin, but those of you guys that want to support me and my channel, you want to get more insight, definitely look into my Patreon. Like I said, last night I finished a video newsletter. I'm like, this week, last week was a little bit different, especially since we had Thanksgiving and then Black Friday. Most institutional investors, if not all of them, and Grayscale, they were off, right? My thinking is this week, Grayscale phones is going to be off the hook entire week because everyone wants to take advantage of the dip. And that's why it went up so much this morning, and it's not going to stop. This FOMO among institutions is just getting started. So it's going to be explosive. It's coming. 20,000 could be here by the end of today. It could be here. So as I'm streaming now, we're seeing some upwards movement again, right? We're down to like 19,000, but 19,400. You look at, we're up 1,200%, 1,200 points in a single day. That's not too shabby. That's not too shabby at all, right? So, yeah. Michael, you must have just missed it because I did cover that. There's a lot of excitement, at least among Ethereum fans. But let's be real here. There's a lot more competition now than say 2017, right? You do have Cardano, you do have Tezos, you do have even the new XRP chain that's coming out, right? Plus, you have all the usual guys like Neo and Vet, and you still have Stellar, and you got a lot of projects out there that is getting involved with dApps, right? Getting involved with smart contracts and stuff. Oh, I forgot EOS and Tron. They're up there too. NEM was always there too. I mean, all these guys, they're like fully operational. Most of them are, right? So definitely takes away from Ethereum. But what I do like is It gives them a better chance. The support and community and developer base is still enormous. And plus, Grayscale owns a ton of Ethereum. A ton. Over $1 billion. So that's pretty significant too. So when you add all that up, you know what? Ethereum's not a bad hold going forward. However, can it outperform BTC? That's the thing. It's important to remember that if you're holding altcoins, you want to make sure that it can outperform BTC, because if it can't, then you're losing out, right? So like a day like today, you look at, oh, Ethereum is up 9%, which is better than Bitcoin 7%. But is it really? You go in the last last 7 days, it Bitcoin outperformed by 3%, right? So that's the important thing. You want to be holding on altcoins that can outperform BTC. If you're not, then you're losing. You're doing yourself a disservice, because your portfolio, even though the USD value might be going up, your BTC value goes down. That's what you don't want. You want your BTC value to go up, significantly. In my case, I'd rather see USD value go down than BTC value go down, because there are days where your overall portfolio USD value goes down, but your BTC value actually goes up, right? That's what you want. That's what you want to see. You want to see BTC value go up. That's the name of the game. Polkadot is another one. Tess, welcome. Digibyte. I was just looking into them, right? Because so many people asked me about Digibyte, and I've been pretty negative on Digibyte, so I wanted to give them a chance. I looked at them recently, and they have done nothing. No, since the last time I checked them, they have done nothing. Jared Tate, I don't even know if he's still with the company, because back in March or May, he said he was leaving Digibyte, but still on his Twitter, he still proclaims himself as the CEO and founder of Digibyte. And even on Digibyte's site, still proclaims that he is still the founder and CEO. So I don't know if he actually left. But the thing with Digibyte is they never really had an ICO. So Jared, he could care less if Digibyte, goes up 1,000-fold or down, because he basically has none. So it sucks to be him to be a founder and not reap the rewards. But anyways, I think that's why he left. But as for the technology, it's supposed to be a day-to-day currency. Michael, appreciate that. It's supposed to be a day-to-day currency. I just don't see it replacing the bigger players or Bitcoin at all. Now, it has 5 hash algorithms, like 2 proof of stake, 2 proof of work, and 1, I forgot what it was, but there's 5 of them. So it makes it basically impossible to do a 50% attack. That's good. I get it. It has a large community base. People do support it. That's good. But as for it to become a mainstream digital currency, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't see it. I think Bitcoin has a much better chance at that than Digibyte. Litecoin. I don't know what else to say about Litecoin. I give an open invitation. If Charlie Lee wants to come on the show, I will be fair and I will bring him on the show and talk to him about Litecoin. But to be objective, to take him out of the equation, if you look at Litecoin, it can't be better than Bitcoin in any possible way. Litecoin is a soft fork from Bitcoin. Basically, it is a copy of Bitcoin. Also, I forgot, Digibyte is a fork of Litecoin. So technically, Digibyte is a copy of Bitcoin too. But Litecoin, there's 4 times the supply, right? So that means even if it goes up the same as Bitcoin, it will be worth 1/4 less than Bitcoin, because there's 4 times the supply. And it's not any more useful. It's still being treated as a day-to-day currency. I mean, as a store of value, not a day-to-day currency, because there's not that many. And even though it's 4 times faster than Bitcoin, it's still not very fast, right? So Litecoin is one of those coins I think you can try to day trade, swing trade, maybe you could gain on Bitcoin for a little bit, but over a long haul, there's no way Litecoin could outperform BTC. None. And Charlie knows that too. I mean, ultimately, he said he made Litecoin into a test bed for BTC. He's been saying that for years. And Mimblewimble is not done because he's dragging his feet. And he has dragged his feet for years now, since 2018, because he knows the repercussions of that. And that is, once you have Mimblewimble privacy features, exchanges will start delisting it because of government pressure and regulations. They want to track transactions. So as soon as Litecoin gets it, they're going to be under scrutiny. So that's the full story about Litecoin. Arnie, Verge, Verge is one of the ones that also started rising for no reason. And I don't think McAfee is shilling it from prison, but it has gone up. It has gone up. Well, you can't tell from this because it was much higher. But if you look at the last month, you could see it did shot up pretty significantly from, I don't know, 81 million to probably 200, 158 million plus, and then came back down a little bit. I checked them out. There's no significant news, none whatsoever. So, their claim to fame was McAfee, and then they were accepted on Pornhub, but now Pornhub accepts a ton of crypto, and they didn't have to pay for it. Verge forced their I shouldn't say customer clients, but their investors, XVG holders, to donate millions to be listed on Pornhub, but now others are on there for free, so it's just wasting money. So I don't know what Verge is doing, but Verge is also a privacy coin. So privacy coins are iffy at this point. Monero, Dash, Zcash, Verge, Zencash. Exchanges are starting to delist them, so I don't know how trading will be for them in the future. What do you predict for Chainlink? On my stream, I think Thursday or Friday. I think it was Thursday. It wasn't a stream. It was a set video. But I'm like, oh God, look at this. This is a perfect setup for a link. I drew this, months ago. Or maybe weeks ago. It was over a month for sure. Chainlink is stuck in this channel, right? And it's like clockwork. Jeff, thank you. Clockwork. Up, down, up, down, up, down, right? So recently it hit up here, and I'm like, okay, this is probably not a good time to buy. It's probably going to come down. And due to the drop from a few days ago, last week, it did. But guess what? It held, right at the bottom of the channel line, and now it's coming back up. So I think Chainlink is good overall. Oracles is definitely needed. It's not just for DeFi, but if you're looking at a short-term price action, it's probably going to end up like here, which is $17, right? So obviously Chainlink has been higher than $17, but it's moving in the right direction. And I guess what we're waiting to see is if it breaks through the channel rather than come down again. If it breaks through, then that would be a very, very bullish sign, right? Chainlink is here to stay. They're not going to go away anytime soon. They rose up way faster than anyone ever anticipated. But now it's more like leveling out, and this is like that slow and steady growth. And that's what you want. So I like Chainlink. Yeah, low roller. I've been trying to get rid of it. Those spammers and stuff, and fake gurus and Telegram. I've been trying to get rid of those, but there's always more bots. So, but thank you for the warning. I'm gonna be careful about that. Cameron, thank you for that. What percentage of portfolio is Bitcoin, and what is your next highest crypto percentage? The highest percent is, of course, Bitcoin, and it's a lot. It's about 75%. So recently, I've been talking more about altcoins because I think this is a good time to be a little bit more greedy with altcoins. So a little bit more, but again, not too heavy. The next highest one it's actually kind of broken down. So all my altcoin portfolio distribution is like basically the same amount in probably like 7 or 8 different projects. So, the ones I do hold on to, and I told you guys, the ones I covered for a while. Now, there are some that I've held for 2017, and I don't even know the percentage breakdown because I just held whatever I had. And most of them are still down like 90-95%, so they're insignificant. But, the ones that I do like, for example, Ethereum, Chainlink, Cardano, even Stellar. But I do think Stellar has topped out, so I'm not so sure about Stellar anymore. VeChain is in there. Uniswap, Aave. I like those 2 projects. Data I had from a long time ago. I still have a little bit of SushiSwap. I know you guys laugh at that, but it's one of the bigger indexes, and I still hold them very well. So I still have a little bit of SushiSwap, and I have a little bit of Band. I talked about Band, second biggest Oracle play, right? That's it from the top 100, but mostly from those. Oh, I forgot. I skipped over BAT too. I do have a significant in BAT as well. Where is it? Right there at 50th. So those are like the top ones from the first page, but I do have a lot. I still have some Wabi or now Teal, right? Also nulls. I still have some nulls and some few other ones that have either died off or just haven't come up significantly. Jeff, that is true. That is true. I haven't bet against him, but I'm really I don't know what's going on with EOS. That's the thing. So it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. He knows. He's the inventor of proof of stake, basically. And he has done many successful projects outside of EOS. But EOS still suffers the same problems it did 2017. So they can't seem to solve it. And I don't know if that's ultimately the downfall of it, because they can't solve this inherent problem because they don't have a dual token structure like everyone else. And because of that, there's always issues or thoughts about, collusion and stuff like that. The rich getting richer, right? Because if you are one of the 23 block producers, you get the most EOS produced. And with that, you keep yourself in power. And the block producers can vote for each other. And that's the thing, right? So you get the rich gets richer on EOS. And they've been trying to solve that forever. And I still have not heard anything about them solving that problem. But other protocol coins don't have that problem. They have like a dual, they have a dual token structure to prevent that. So if you are a large staker, you're getting rewarded in another token that has nothing to do with the governance token, right? So that's the thing with EOS. So I don't know what's going to happen with their structure. So I'm not betting against him, but I've kind of just like waiting on the sidelines now. Let's just put it that way. How's the used car market? Not good. You want a car, you go new. Because financing deals and incentives for new cars are insanely good. Dealerships make nothing from new cars. So if you want a car, get a new car. My EOS is still locked in staking. I've tried 10 times to get it out. Sucks. Sorry. Sorry, I don't know too much about their staking. All right, let's not talk about Doge. Let's go back to BTC. Slowly and rising once again. We started the stream a little bit low, but now it's coming back up, right? I did say the 15-minute bottomed out. You could see bounced off the 50 on RSI pretty nicely. Now the 15 minutes turning back up. So we could see Bitcoin touch 98, 99, 20,000 on this way up. Dent and Dentacoin are two different projects, so don't get those confused. Dent was trying to disrupt the wireless carriers. It's different than Dentacoin, which is involved with dentists. Both projects are bad. Dent was high flying before. In 2017, 2018, people were like, "Oh, Dent is going to disrupt, the wireless carriers. They're going to force them to give competitive pricing." I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. Wireless carriers could care less about Dent. And there's not that many around in every country, right? It's actually the industry is consolidating. They're not going to give any discounts to Dent. So, yeah, sometimes with crypto, you gotta think logically, okay? I know everyone focuses on price, and you just look at price. If something pumps up, you think, oh, it has to be good. But just take a second and think about what they're trying to do, and is it really going to work, right? So ultimately, think about that. Can they actually do what they're trying to do, right? And sometimes just you think about it, it can't be done. So that means ultimately the project is set up to fail. Maybe it's not going to fail right away, but eventually it will. And, don't invest in projects like that. I don't think anyone's talking about Libra anymore. I don't know about Libra. I'm guessing Facebook does not want to give up, seeing how Square profits and PayPal's getting involved, right? I know Facebook's not talking about crypto trading, but they probably will soon. And Libra, before it was supposed to be like this digital currency. Now they're going to make it backed by like stable coins or something. I don't know what's going on, but Mark is not giving up on that. Adam, thank you for that. What do you think about Nano? To be honest, have not looked into Nano for a long time. They're not a blockchain, right? They're more like, what do you call it? I forgot. I forgot the term for it, but they're not really block lattice or something. I think that's what it is. But anyways, I have not looked at them recently. They're kind of like Digibyte. Their main purpose is not to do anything with dApps or smart contracts. They're supposed to be a digital currency to be used for day-to-day stuff, and that's hard. That's hard to break into. So that's the thing with Nano. Click your buy bell for BTC. Do I even have my buy bell? Oh, yes, I do. I need to bring this out. I had this in my drawer for like basically 3 years. So I'm going to have to start using it. Man, I just noticed my hair is really bad. So I should comb my hair before I start these streams. Anyways. Do you think 80% is healthy in BTC? Yes. I would say 80, 75%. Maybe if you are a little bit greedy, 70% in BTC is fine. I think it's good to be a little bit greedier with altcoins right now, seeing how a lot of them are doing really well. Ultimately, you want to hold altcoins because you want to gain on BTC. And if you could do so with altcoins, great. But I would say be careful. You don't want to go too heavy, right? Because we just saw it, right? A lot of the altcoins that were doing very well, they took a nasty dump when this happened, right? They went way in terms of percentages, way more than BTC did. So it goes both ways, right? So if you were very, very heavy in altcoins, you were kind of decimated when this happened, right? So that's why it's good to diversify a little bit at this point. Yes, it's a DAG. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I should have brought this out. You know, when things were low, I should have brought this out. I didn't even think about this in my drawer until someone asked me. You think Dogecoin can hit 25 cents when Bitcoin hits 100,000? I don't know. Maybe. Where's Dogecoin? Can it hit 25 cents? Oh, I don't know. No, probably not. That's too much. That's almost 100x from here. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe. It's interesting. The total supply, circulating supply is the same, so there is no more. This is it. The amount of mined Dogecoin is out there. Unless Dogecoin has inflation built in. I'm not sure if it does, but right now, it seems like every single Dogecoin is circulating. What's up with Vegas? Well, knick-knack, I'm glad you asked. That's why I have a Vegas fund there. Well, obviously in 2020 here, not a good time to be going anywhere, especially with the group, right? So 2021, when things are better, well, obviously, I still plan on having a Vegas party, gather and meeting some of you guys, right? So if you want to contribute, if you want to donate to that, you want to make it even a bigger party, I have the Vegas fund up front. Down below. Also, Patreon members too. They get invited free. But yeah, this go happen. 2017. Why did I say 2017? 2021. We'll get a date once Bitcoin is way above 20,000, 25, 30, 50,000. You know, we'll all show up in our rented Lambos or whatever, rented Ferraris, and we'll have a good old time celebrating our new life-changing wealth. So that's coming. That's coming. All right, guys. I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm getting hungry. So today's a good day. Today's a very good day, very exciting day. Bitcoin set a new all-time high. Not at 20,000, but 19,900, right? We did a V-shaped recovery very, very quickly, and that's because institutional investors are FOMOing. Guggenheim is asking permission to buy $500 million worth of GBDC, which in turn will buy 500 more million of Bitcoin. And every single, billionaire hedge fund investment company, they're all buying Bitcoin at this point, right? Russia recognizes Bitcoin as a legal property. And you know what? This is all adding up, right? This is all adding up. So stop trying to day trade. Stop trying to guess where the top or bottom is. Ultimately, if you want to invest in Bitcoin, dollar cost average, spread out your buys, buy in increments, and HODL. The longer you HODL, the more you're going to make. That's the name of the game for Bitcoin. So that has not changed at all. And when this was happening, right, it said the same thing. A lot of people didn't want to believe it, but yes, it's still the same thing. It didn't change. Nothing changed, right? Okay. Anyways, that's it. That's enough for me rambling. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll probably have a live stream every day this week at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time since Bitcoin and altcoins are so hot. So make sure you tune in. Also, make sure you hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. And we'll see where Bitcoin goes for today. Maybe we'll see 20,000 by the end of tonight. All right? Take care, guys. Before you go, I do have something. I know a lot of people are interested in XRP, so I do have something to show you guys. Maybe this will swing your thoughts or your views one way or another. Take a look.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.